What would you guys say if the information I talk about here and the information I talked about in the last video could literally change the trajectory of your life? You feel better, your longevity changes, you live a longer life, a happier life with more life force, more vitality, but what's crazy is it's nothing outside of you. We go to buy these supplements, these pills, things to make us happier, make us feel better, but if there's something inside of us that we can harness that can change all of that for the better, almost like there's a path to a better life that's illuminated and we just need to see the way forward. Last time I talked about the placebo effect, ultimately saying belief alone can change how our body operates, how we heal ourselves, how our immune system responds. What's crazy is the placebo effect is literally something published by the pharmaceutical industry, but it's something where they say, hey, we don't know about the phenomenon going on here. No, we do. That says everything. And so as we look a little deeper into that, we find out, okay, what's underneath the covers? Let's unpack that. Let's continue to unpack it like we did last time and see if we can learn something else. So here's some other cool stuff. Another thing that I found out about a while back that kind of blew my mind, there was something called the milkshake experiment. So there was a group of people, it was a smaller study, I think like 47, 46, 48 people, whatever it was. They were separated into two groups. They both got the same drink. It was like a 380 calorie drink, but the labels on them were different. This group were told it was like a milkshake dessert type drink full of sugar and delicious. And this group over here was told it was a nutritious drink, almost like a smoothie full of fruit and vitamins and stuff like that. When they studied the blood before and after, the blood markers after showed that the group that took the dessert type drink had a hormone released to let them know that they were full, that they couldn't eat anything else, that they were kind of bogged down by it. And they even had biomarkers that showed and that were indicative that they just took like a dessert type item or ate a dessert type item. The other group hardly had the hormone released to make them feel full. They wanted more food. Things were changed. Their hormones released differently, and they had biomarkers showing that they just drank a nutritious drink, which is crazy to me. All right, so what's interesting is that's kind of just like we talked about last time, how the mind can shift and change the biology within your body. But what about something physical like a surgery? So here's where that gets fascinating. Baylor College of Medicine, Dr. Bruce Mosley, 180 patients with severe knee osteoarthritis. He split those 180 patients into two groups. One got a full-blown knee surgery. They went in and reconstructed a knee and improved it. And the other group only had an incision made on their knee and closed back up. Nobody knew who got the real surgery and who didn't. What they found out is both groups showed the exact same results. Both increased functionality at the same rate and reduced pain at the same rate for years. That's crazy because they thought they had the surgery. Unbelievable. Another interesting thing and how the brain can shift, which is pretty much what we're talking about, but another really cool study that highlights this, done by Harvard and the University of British Columbia. What they did is they took patients with Parkinson's, which would just mean their brain's not producing enough dopamine, and they gave them a saline injection. They ultimately told them, hey, we've got this new remedy that's going to significantly improve your Parkinson's disease, but they gave them saline, which is just really salt water. It's really what they'll give you when you're dehydrated to keep you hydrated. What they found out is those patients who got only saline as an experiment increased dopamine production in their brain by 200%. Unbelievable. Seriously. So if the mind can mimic a drug, can it learn a new skill? So if our thoughts are that powerful, can we just kind of go into a thought and make shifts in our brain by just sitting there? Check this out. The answer to that is yes, and you'll see. There was something called the piano study, and it was done by Harvard researchers. They split two groups apart. One group, so they had a piano chord that they had these groups learn. They did the brain scan before to kind of map out the brain. And they said, we want you to learn this chord. We want you to practice, I forget if it was 2 to 3 times a day for 10 minutes. And after this many weeks, we're gonna scan your brain and see the difference. And at the end of that, those people that practice that chord every day for that many weeks, they noticed in the back of their brain, they developed new neural pathways. They developed a new skill. It got that much more amazing, which is super cool. The brain, the energy, the electrical signals in their brain lit up in this one part of their brain, right? So here's what's awesome. They took a second group. The exact same thing applied. The difference is they had no piano. They were not going to play anything physical. They were going to sit there, close their eyes, and visualize themselves playing a piano. At the end of that study, they showed the same neural pathways were created, the same part of the brain lit up, showing the exact same results as the people playing the piano. No difference. That's unbelievable. Like, seriously. So can it change our immunity, right? Can it make our immune system stronger if we're able to do some type of visualization like this? Well, check this out. The answer to that is yes. In 2010, Dr. Joe Dispenza ran a 4-day study with 117 people, right? They practiced gratitude for 10 minutes, 3 times a day. At the end of those 4 days, and so they were actually, let me back up there, they were looking for 2 things. They were looking for how much stress hormone was released, cortisol, and they were also studying their IgA, which is their marker showing how strong their immune system is. At the end of the 4 days, just by going into an elevated emotion of gratitude, their IgA went up 50%. That means their immune system got 50% stronger. That's amazing, because that's showing the power of these elevated emotions that we're talking about, the ones that cause our body to release hormones that strengthen our immune system, and of course we have the other hormones that are the fear, anxiety that we need to try to get out of that actually make our immune system weak. So all these stories, the milkshake experiment, the fake knee surgery, Parkinson's patients making their own dopamine, the power of gratitude boosting the immune system, even people learning to play the piano, building muscle, it all points to the same thing. And this is what the fascinating part is. So this is kind of where it all comes together. It's like, what's going on here? We live in a reality where the unseen, our thoughts, our emotions, our energy are the true architects of our health, our experiences, and our future. The more we rediscover this inner world, the more we free ourselves. And when we elevate ourselves, we elevate everyone around us. That's how we create a better life. That's how we create a better world. We change the world within us, we change the world around us. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to try to do some more where we kind of continue to unpack this and understand these different emotions and how they can all impact us and kind of what all that looks like. All right, thanks.